So, let's go play this game again. Everlasting Summer. We're on day 3. And we'll lower the volume a little bit. And we load the game. Alright, he just woke up from a dream. I was hoping that we would get glimpses from the other reality, but we didn't. Actually, can we do... Oh. I was pretty sure I lowered this already. I seem to be an early bird today, says Semyon. Olga was still sleeping, wrapped tightly in her blanket. Wrapped so tightly, in a hot summer. I got up, stretched, and went to the mirror to have a look at myself. I better shave. Never shave. Strange idea. Before, twice a month was enough. But now nothing depends on the way. I look. I haven't found a razor anyway. Why do we even need it if I look like I'm 17 at most? So breakfast can't start earlier than 9 a.m. Oh, that's early. And this means I have plenty of time, which I can spend on walking and washing, for example. The water didn't seem as cold as the previous day. On the contrary, its refreshing coolness helped me to brace up and come back to reality. Or whether all these events could be called real. Tooth powder didn't seem to be such an outdated thing. A quick thought struck me that it's not that different from toothpaste. It isn't, for sure. When I returned to the cabin, Olga was already up. She was standing in front of the mirror and fixing her hair. Good morning, Semyon. Morning. Because of a lack of sleep, my head was still singing and my thoughts were all jumbled together. However, I didn't regret waking up, instead of my usual habit of sleeping in for 2 or 3 hours more. How come you're up so early? Just happened. No neckerchief. Once again. Let me. I'll do it myself, not a big deal. On my way to the canteen. I don't think so. Do it now. Did you forget about the lineup before breakfast? How could I ever forget? And what's the lineup going to be about today? We'll discuss the agenda for the day. So what's the agenda? Frankly speaking, I didn't care what might be on the agenda for our courageous pioneer troop. I was mostly interested in where our brave leader will send our little pioneer army for the following 12 to 15 hours. Maybe I could manage to avoid enemy locations. You'll find that out on the lineup. She gave me a wily smile. Olga, my stomach is getting upset. I'd rather, I believe it's okay to miss the lineup once. It can get all nasty if I fail to control it right there. Where did all this courage come from? You have 5 more minutes. I'm afraid I need more time. Could you tell me right now, please? Sure, I'll try, but in case it all goes down, oh fine. On our list for today is cleaning the camp locations, organizing the books in the library, and some other minor tasks. And of course, we have a ball in the evening. Watch yourself. You must take part in the camp activities today. You bet. Definitely. And now I'd rather... Come on, let's hit the road. What? What's happening? I'm not paying attention. I came out of the cabin and hid in the bushes behind it, waiting for Olga to leave. Actually, I didn't have any particular reason to behave this way. The voice within me kept telling me that I have nothing to do at the lineup, right? After the camp leader left, I went back to the cabin and decided to wait for breakfast there. Well, I'm not planning to take part in the community life today. Cleaning and organizing, that's not what someone in my situation should be doing. 2 days have passed and I'm still right where I started. All the residents seemed to be perfectly ordinary people. They weren't involved in any conspiracy. They weren't communicating with aliens, and had no idea about time warps. Of course, each of them is a bit peculiar. Those peculiarities don't seem out of line at all. Moreover, if I had met any of these pioneers in my familiar world, I wouldn't suspect anything wrong. They seem to be even more normal and natural than, let's say, yours truly. This line of reasoning was quite logical. The logical part was the absence of answers. Ordinary people in an extraordinary place. I've heard and seen that already somewhere. Dozens of pioneers, or even more, live their familiar lives and do the regular stuff day by day. They don't understand that the world around them is not what it looks like. Okay? But this is their point of view. As for me, I'm not acquainted with the world of the Sovonyuk camp and its residents, even if they seem to behave the way normal people would under the same circumstances. I have to decide here and now. Do you though? Are these people involved in what's happening to me? Can they give me answers? Or do I have to seek the truth somewhere else? It seems I overdid it a bit with the thinking. There's no usual crowd of hungry pioneers near the canteen. Or even inside the canteen. Most of them probably had their breakfast at 9 a.m. That's even better. Two's a company, three's a crowd. Lena was sitting in the farthest corner of the canteen, lazily picking with her fork at an amorphous lump that vaguely resembled porridge. Having breakfast with her seemed like a good idea. We can chat in peace. Or at least try to. I was on the way to her table when suddenly somebody grabbed me by the sleeve. Xenia, the librarian. Get your meal and come. We need to talk. What are you waiting for? I was a bit confused. Pardon, isn't this a bit too sudden? What's wrong? Get your meal and sit down. I suppose that she considers her behavior completely normal. Wait a minute. I'm not sure why, but I accepted the invitation. But if I can learn something new, she is such a bookworm. A minute later, I was sitting in front of Xenia. With a tray and a simple meal on it. Porridge, 2 eggs, 4 pieces of white bread, a sausage, and a glass of compote. Bon appetit. Thanks. I decided to act as politely as I could and also eat more neatly without jumping and spilling crumbs of food or drops of compote. So, what do you want to talk about? Today at the library. I wasn't listening from this point. He said, I remember it, because it pissed me off. He said, I'm not the kind of person that's just ignoring people when they talk to me. What is he doing again? It's not the first time, it's not the third time. I wasn't listening from this point onwards. I immediately recalled Olga's words about scheduled events for today. Don't forget. Oh, what? I said, don't forget to visit the library after lunch. All right? What for? Were you even listening? Nope, I admitted honestly. Tanya's face turned red, then appeared green, then took a soft purple color. Today, after lunch, you in the library. Got it, Duns? Duns? Yeah. What kind of a curse is that? Though a pioneer must never use a curse word, how could I forget this rule? Oh yeah, sure, I apologize. Of course, I'll be there. Actually, I wasn't really planning on going anywhere, but if you want to make someone speak, you need to sacrifice a bit first. By the way, what year is it now? I totally lost count. I decided to play fair. She looked at me perplexed and answered, have you gone completely bananas? Honestly, that's how I felt for the last few days. Senya didn't reply. So what year is it? I smiled kindly. Listen, why don't you visit the infirmary? Will they tell me what year it is there? Oh, certainly, and even more. Senya stood up and headed to the exits. Wait, you didn't finish your meal? But it looks like she won't turn back. I was finishing chewing on the sausage, which tasted like a twisted pear cable. I wonder if they have internet access here. Guess not. A pioneer sitting at the next table noticed me talking to myself and stared at me. I smiled and waved to him in return. After such a friendly greeting, he, for some reason, left the canteen quickly without finishing his breakfast. Done with the food, it's time to search for some clues. Sometime later, I finally came to the infirmary. I have nothing to do in that place. Though the nurse seemed quite caring, it is better to keep distance from her. Such benevolence is actually scary. She may know something, but I just hadn't the courage to enter the infirmary. Moreover, I had no reason to, not a single one. Well, you have one reason to. 2 reasons, possible reasons. That happened just now. She told you to go to the nurse's office. Well, that's a reason, not a very good one. But the second reason is she might know something. It is a good reason to go there. Immersed in my own thoughts, I didn't notice the nurse who was standing on the porch. Hi there, pioneer. She came closer. You must be sick. Did you come for medicine? No, I was just wandering around. Oh, a truant, I see. But if you're here, I have a serious task for you. I gave her a look of inquiry. The word task made me feel uneasy. It sounded like something inevitable. The nurse smiled spitefully. You both will help me make an inventory of the supplied medicine which arrived today. Both? Well, perhaps I misheard. But what words could be confused with both? Oh, hi, said Lena. Lena emerged from behind the nurse's back. It seemed strange I hadn't noticed her until now. It's very strange. It's like it can't focus. I don't know why. It's very strange. Come here after dinner. I have explained everything to Lena. She will tell you what to do. Oh, is there an actual choice happening? Good. Oh no, it was after lunch. We needed to go to the library, and after dinner we need to go to the infirmary. Medicine, huh? Supplied today. But Olga told me that no bus would arrive for the next couple of days. So were there visitors to our camp today? Yes, they arrived from the city this morning. Why are you asking? Just curious. All right then, pioneer. So tonight after dinner you'll be here. Maybe Lena was barely noticeable this whole time. Surely she's able to remain invisible like a skilled ninja. I could do it on my own. Oh, she says, no way, there's a lot of boxes, and the pioneer is always ready. Isn't that so, pioneer? She gazed at me and smiled menacingly. I didn't want to spend the whole evening doing something like this, and also I've got more important things to do, but rejecting this request would be really improper. If it wasn't Lena who was standing here, I would definitely think my way out. Okay, I'll come. Nice, that's how a true pioneer should answer. Even after these words, I barely came a step closer to the be prepared, always prepared motto. Then you can go. I looked at Lena, who was still staring at the ground. I guess all that time she spent staring at the ground was enough to learn everything there is to know about the life and habits of different insects. Plus, Lena likes to read, so she probably read many biological, botanical, and so on books. Perhaps she wants to become an entomologist. Where will you head next? Lena's words drew me away from the obscure thoughts. We'd been standing at the square for some time, and my speculations about bugs' lives were only an attempt to escape this awkward situation. Oh, why did I see it as awkward? Yes, indeed, why did you? Just don't forget, all right? Don't forget what? Well, tonight, after dinner, at the infirmary. Her face got a slightly grumpy look to it. No way, that's impossible. All right. Right after dinner, I'm at your service. I thought too late at my words. Lena blushed even harder. I need to find a way to ease this situation. Why did the nurse ask you to do it? I don't know. I was just sitting on the bench and reading a book when she came, and it's smart to ask a reliable person who would never say no. Okay, well then after dinner. Okay. I'll be off then. Yeah, sure. She walked off somewhere beside the clubs, and I just stood at the square for some time. So, what's next? I decided to visit my cabin in order to collect my... Oh? I didn't read it, I think. I don't know where I'll find myself today, but having a watch is always useful. Though having a wristwatch is much easier. Suddenly, I heard a different tune, which was cutting through the usual noise of the cab. I listened to it carefully. Sounds like an electric guitar. 3 repeating chords, no more. But this melody felt somehow warm, as if vacuum tube-based audio amplifier was used. Could there be such a luxury here? The sound was definitely coming from somewhere near the stage area. I wonder who that could be. Oh, let's have a look. Coming to the stage area, I caught sight of Elise on the stage. The girl was giving it all with her eyes closed. She placed one of her legs upon the speaker and was swaying her body with the rhythm of the music. I couldn't recognize the melody, but I was pretty sure I heard it before. Probably something from Soviet rock. I could have named a dozen bands in this genre right off the bat, but I was hardly an expert. The song seemed really simple. Literally, just a 3-chord progression. Probably even I could have played it, given some time to practice. I wonder where Anissa got her playing skills. In the USSR, such music had never been nationally acclaimed. The future rock star wasn't taking any notes of me. It was like she was trying to become one with the music, to resound in every note, in every bar, in every triplet. Rock heroes of the 80s instantly came to mind. Many of them were devoted to the music in a similar way. If she got dressed in something more suitable for that period's fashion instead of her pioneer uniform, no one would notice the difference. Her performance was coming to an end. Picking out a last couple of chords, Elisa finally noticed me. Do you like it? She doesn't seem as surprised as I would have expected. Yeah, that was cool. As if you could do any better, smiled Elisa slyly. I'm not saying I can do it better. I'm not a pro in music, no doubt. Yep. I didn't know what to tell her next, and I was heading my own way. Wait a minute, what? Heard about the evening dance party? I thought it was a ball. Ball, dance party, what's the difference? She frowned. Yes, I did. And so what? Are you going to go? After throwing those words, she turned away. Not sure. And you? What am I going to do there? Watch a herd of morons? There was some truth in Alisa's words. This open disrespect surprised me. It's not clear. It's clear that it's not the idea of a ball that she hates. But why? What do you mean by why? Well, why don't you want to come? Dance parties ought to be fun. Do you really think so? Annoyance flashed in her voice. I don't know. But I thought that you would. I never liked them. She interrupted me. There's absolutely nothing to do at such parties. I see. So what's your plan then? I asked just to keep the conversation going. I'll just keep on practicing. What are you practicing? The song, dumbass. You even heard it? Lisa had gone totally mad. A few more wrong questions and I will have to run for my life. Who wrote that song? I did. Oh, so you wrote it by yourself? By myself? Cool. An awkward silence hung in the air. Okay then. Don't you want to listen? Didn't I just hear it? That's not what I meant. She pouted. The whole song, it's just a jam for now. Ah, come on, do it then. Not right now? Well, don't do it then. I felt uncertain about what she wanted from me. You mean you don't want me to play? Seems like I frustrated her. I got ready for her to smash the guitar on my forehead or something even worse. But there was only an upset expression on Lisa's face. I want to, I told you. Come here tonight. Then I'll play for you. For me? How cute. Tonight is the dance party. You said you wouldn't go. I didn't say that. Frankly speaking, I didn't want to go, but messing around with Devache was no good either. Olga won't like it. Screw her, said Elisa, getting steamed up. I mean, I don't even know if I have the time. I gotta go to the library. Can't I tell her that I promised to go to the library? Okay, I'll come. Between shame and the dance party and her mad guitar skills, I'd rather pick the latter. Goodbye, she smiled strangely. I was just wondering if the decision I made was the right one. Suddenly I was interrupted by a ringing, calling the pioneers for lunch. Oh, lunch already. I looked towards the canteen. I suppose it's time to go. Hunger is a sharp thorn. I turned around with an intent to call Elisa to come along, but she looked so cheerless and down. Every musician should know it's time to leave. From under my teeth. Who is marching forward in a row? It is our pioneer squad. Pioneers in a row usually marched to the canteen in the Sovionic camp. I was looking for a place where no one would disturb me, like what happened before, so I can just eat in peace. And for that, I have to at least not be the last one to come. but I was pretty sure whatever happens here happens whether I wanted to or not. The canteen was crammed full as an egg. Olga was standing at the entrance, guarding it like a hawk. Well, Simeon, were you working hard today? Hard enough. Well done, truly well done. The hardest is yet to come. I just bet. Fine, take a seat next to the girls. She pointed at the table next to the pillar. Slavia, Uliana, and Lena was already sitting there. Not bad company. At least not the worst. I got my meal and went up to them. Do you mind if I sit here? I caught myself sounding a bit clueless. There were no other free places anyway. Flavia says, no, of course not. Please do, says Juliana. Lena remained silent. Today the meal consisted of a plate of borscht. I suspected there was some meat lurking in it, but I had no evidence. Some poultry, chances are chickenus domesticus, with fried potatoes and a traditional glass of compote. I found myself liking the local food more and more. I guess I just came to the conclusion that I have no other choice, which means that there's no use in complaining. Thank God there's something to eat. Coming to the ball tonight? I don't know. Though I already had my arrangement with Elisa. He'll come. He's got nowhere to go. Juliana said happily. He'll come for sure. Of course, I can't miss the opportunity to watch you make a fool out of yourself. She got it right, so I decided not to reply. What about you? I asked Lena. Yes, she replied briefly. See, you should go too then, said Slavia, as if leaving me no choice. Don't forget to wear your tailcoat. Apparently, Juliana was so pleased with her joke that she laughed out loud. But I really had nothing to wear. My wardrobe was just a pioneer uniform and my winter clothes, which would be inappropriate even in the evening. And what will you be dressed in, entertainer? Secret. Will it be a little dress, just like a kindergarten's matinee? Liana turned red. Looks like I managed to offend her. No, I will wear a biohazard suit, just so I don't catch an infection from you. I wonder what kind of infection you are afraid of catching from me. Enough, you guys, don't quarrel. Idiocy, of course. Looks like Juliana was highly pleased with her, as she thought. Brilliant answer here. You know, if you already have the flu, you can't catch a cold. Two can play that game. What are you implying? Oh, nothing. Nothing at all. Licked away slyly. Do you mean that? She went red again. I don't mean anything. Guys, given that it was Lena who interfered, it was probably time to stop. You're asking for it. You're gonna get it, said Juliana. What, you'll finally wise up? Instead of replying, Juliana grabbed her plate, filled it with borscht, and tipped it over my head. This game met an unexpected finale. Oh, you little... She jumped up and tried to run away. But this time, she won't get away. I grabbed her hand. And now what? I can't just smash her head against the table. This pantomime lasted for a few seconds. Suddenly, Juliana skillfully grabbed a glass full of compote and splashed it in my face. That way she managed to get free of my grip. She dashed off towards the counter and I chased her. This resulted in several flip tables, a pile of smashed tableware, 5 pioneers crippled by various injuries, and full exhaustion of both parties. A draw, short, sort of a belligerent draw. Too much belligerence. We stood before each other and breathed heavily. Tell me you won't behave this way again. And you? Olga snuck up on us from behind. When you think about it, such a ride couldn't go unnoticed. Well, are you satisfied with yourselves now? Her voice appeared to be calm, but I was sure she was just about to explode. And who's going to clean up this mess? Exactly what happened. Who? I'm asking you. Who? Him, replied Uliana with complete confidence. Her? I objected less confidently. Both, said the camp leader, and brought a conclusive end to this ongoing argument. Generally, I wasn't sure that my share of the blame is. Generally, I wasn't sure that my share of the blame is more than hers. Although Uliana didn't have a drop of guilt on her face. Beat it. I'm not cleaning. Ain't nobody got time for that. This is his fault. He started it first. No, it isn't. Oh, yes, it is. I'm not going to sort out all this nonsense. Semyon, grab a mop, a bucket, and some cloths. You know, the kind of stuff in the closet. And as for you, she looked at Uliana with such a burning gaze that I felt a bit sorry for the girl. You start to pick up the broken tableware immediately. Olga took a deep breath and continued. You're nothing but trouble. How many times have I told you? I decided to skip the lecture and went to the closet that appeared to be next to the exit. Suddenly, a perfect idea flashed in my head. Why don't I just run away? Sure, Olga has caught us already, but I'm not the one to blame. Of course, I'm not that true pioneer she keeps talking about, but in comparison to Uliana, anyway, she's the principal culprit. It's not like I have nothing better to do than to clean up the mess here. I have to seek answers. The truth is out there, somehow flashed through my mind. I mean, I promised to go and do something, right? The library. I mean, he's such a dick. My my inner ethics says, well, and help. We were just having fun, but then, yeah, we're both. Running away is hardly a good idea. For starters, Olga has caught me already, and dashing off would only aggravate my punishment, as well as that. I was indeed partly guilty. Of course, it was all her fault, but if I hadn't reacted like that, probably we could have avoided this thrashing, probably. Yeah, she didn't try to catch her. I opened the cabinet and took out a broom, a mop, and a dustpan. Olga wasn't anywhere near Uliana by the time I returned. She gone? Can't you see for yourself? Uliana looked upset. All her youthful spirit vanished without a trace. Okay, hang on a second. I'll go wash myself a bit first. I shot her an angry glance and headed towards the exit. I washed the scraps of lunch off myself and then returned to the canteen. Well, no escaping it. We have to clean it up. It's all because of you. The single gaze from her gave me the creeps. Of course it is. It's me who's guilty of everything. It's me who's the local natural hazard. Oh, shut up. Still, it's kind of strange that she's not trying to avoid this cleanup duty. Liana had a solid opportunity to just run away and leave me alone. But somehow, she did the exact opposite, diligently gathering broken plate fragments, mopping the floor, picking up chairs and tables. In fact, she was so fast that I had a tough time keeping up with her. Well now, aren't you suddenly acting all goody-goody? It's not like I want to spend the whole day here, you dork. She still sounded irritated. Listen, you've got to understand that you can't behave like that, at least not to such an extent. For some reason, I decided to give her a moral lecture. I haven't done a thing. It was you who calling me names. Liana grabbed a bucket and a mop and went to the farthest corner of the canteen. Looks like she's still angry. Looking back at the mountain of broken tableware, I finally began to understand the scope of the catastrophe. We were lucky that at least forks and spoons are made of metal. We still have something to eat with. But there are hardly any plates left. Hey, Liana called me with a shout. I went over to her. I don't get it. Why do you hate me so much? Her face became so serious that I was ready to believe that it wasn't just yet another a trick of hers. Why do you think so? I have no idea. That's exactly why I'm asking you. I don't hate you. Just that sometimes you behave like, well, simple as that. But still true. Like what? I have no idea. She lifted her gaze to me, boiling with curiosity. Well, for starter, what's the big idea in pouring compote all over me? You were asking for it. She smiled for the first time since we started cleaning. Yeah, sure. I heaved a deep sigh. So, what do you expect from others then? Nothing, she replied acidly. This discussion was over, so I just continued to clean up in silence. It took us a few hours. Holy shit, we missed the library. At last, all the broken tableware was gone. Chairs and tables were in their designated places, and the floor looked clean. We were sitting together with Juliana next to the food counter, breathing heavily, deservedly resting. Now you see how much effort it has to be put in because of a silly trick. But I'm not tired at all. Though the sweat pouring down her face told the opposite story. Oh well, good for you. So what are we gonna do next? I don't know about you, but I'd rather go. No, that's not all. You have to, she hesitated, to help me with another little thing. Thinking of another silly prank? You bet. She was smiling broadly. I'm not your man here. More than fed up with just one punishment for today. Okay, here's the deal. If you help me now, there won't be any more pranks. Sure, that was an inviting prospect, but somehow I couldn't bring myself to trust Juliana for even a moment. Well, it wouldn't hurt to ask. So, what is your cunning plan? We're going to steal the candy. What? I should have expected something like that. Candy is for kids. Soon the chef will go out and dump the trash, and nobody's gonna see it. Count me out. Whatever, she grunted and turned away. Then I'll do it myself. And I won't allow... I couldn't even finish the sentence. As Juliana already jumped over the counter, ran to the cabinet, opened the door, and started rummaging through it. Hey, cut that out. It's not like you haven't got enough problems with Olga. She didn't reply. You won't get away with just cleaning duty for something like that. Juliana closed the cabinet. She held a huge bag of candy in her hands. You little, put it back. She stuck out her tongue at me and dashed off through the back door. I couldn't just leave it at that. I darted off in pursuit. Why not just leave it? Sure, the girl had quite a head start, but still I funneled all my energy to the chase. I won't lose her again. We ran through the square. Turned at the music club building and came out to the forest trail. I'd almost caught Juliana when she stopped abruptly. I couldn't pull up as sharply, so I crashed into her, sending us sprawling. We rolled down onto the grass. Gotcha. I gave a victorious shout. No, you didn't, she replied with an ashamed tone. Juliana was lying under me. Her face was right next to mine. I felt her erratic breathing and the heat of her body. Sure, right now she's only a child, but soon enough she'll become a woman. Are you serious? Nope, nope. I'm calling the police. It was pretty embarrassing. You gonna rape me? Exactly, she said, coming back to her senses. You want me to? Oh my god. Anyway, it was more like a game to her. Sure, do. She gave a cunning smile and snorted quietly. Or was it just my imagination? I'm not really in the mood. Whatever. What just happened? Liana reached up and bit me on the nose. I wasn't expecting that and even pulled back a little. Just a moment of hesitation was enough for her to wrestle out and run a dozen feet away. Watch it. You're gonna regret this later. She laughed out loud and disappeared into the woods. The candy bag was left lying on the ground near me. I wonder if she drops it on purpose. It's getting near dinner time, so I had to hurry up and return the candy. Preferably, very preferably, stay under the radar. Of course, I'll explain the situation. It was Uliana who had stolen them, but who's gonna believe me? Olga was already waiting for me at the entrance to the canteen. Good job, Semyon. And what? I hid this bag of sweets behind my back. The bag was transparent too, and too big to put in my pocket. I was talking about the cleanup. Everything is clean and tidy. Well, yeah. Where's Uliana? I wish I knew. She'll come soon. Okay then, go have your dinner. I entered the canteen. To my utter lack of surprise, it was full. Now I really don't know how to return the bag without being noticed. Sure, I could do it in the evening, but what do I do with it now? Semyon, said Slava. I turned around. Slava was in front of me. Wow, what's that? She looked at the bag that I didn't manage to hide in time. Caught red-handed, or more like sweet-handed. Time to prepare for a scolding. Those are sweets. Where from? I stole them, damn it. I got them from Uliana. Oh, I see. Same old song and dance. What do you mean? It's not the first time she's stolen sweets. Why am I not surprised? Let me handle this. Thanks. Slavia saves the day yet again. Took the bag and headed to the buffet. I had no desire to listen to what she was going to say while returning the sweets, so I started looking around the canteen, looking for a place to sit. It seems that I will have to share a dinner table with Electronic and Shurik. There were no more places to sit. What's happening, gentlemen? Every time I had to deal with them, I got an itching desire to tease them, or at least drop some cheeky or cocky banter. It might be too risky to behave that way, but the Electronic brothers were my primary source of positive emotions. How are you doing? Fine, what about you? It's and Mrs. Did something happen? Lots of stuff. Mind sharing? Nah, some other time maybe. Suit yourself. Made a helpless gesture. We're going to the ball after dinner. Electronic giggled. I know that. Who would you want to ask out? I haven't thought about it yet. What about you? Well, It seemed like the question caught him off guard. Ask Uliana. That would make her happy. Nah, thanks. Electronics furiously waved his hands. You, Shurik. Gotta ask Elisa out. Thanks, I'll pass. He looked calmer than his mate. Oh, come on, guys, it'll be fun. And in any case, we got things to do. We still have to finish the robot. Oh, that's a marvelous idea. Ask your robot out. Can it dance? Can it even walk yet? Shurik probably missed the point completely. Why, it would be a great demonstration of our achievements in front of the camp. And what would we show to them? Yeah, you're right. They both stared at their plates disappointedly. Dinner was over and the pioneers started to disperse. What will you wear to the ball? I asked Shurik and Electronic. We don't have anything special to wear. We'll go as we are. He indicated his pioneer uniform. They don't seem to care about their appearance at all. Well, why should I care then? Wearing my winter clothes isn't an option, so I'll go just like this. When does it start? After 9 o'clock. Got it. But he decided not to go. I left the canteen and deeply inhaled the fresh evening air. I remembered those rare dances I used to go to at school. Hesitation, insecurity, and even fear. I couldn't dance. I didn't know how to react if someone had invited me. I wouldn't dare invite someone myself. All in all, I felt pretty uncomfortable about it. And it was even more unpleasant to watch others having fun. It wasn't envy, more like a disconcerting feeling that people were able to enjoy something so odd for me. I thought that there was still lots of time till the ball so I could sleep a little to be fresh in the evening. What? He's making me a liar. Entering the camp leader's cabin, I flopped onto the bed instantly and shut my eyes. Strangely enough, I got up right on time, even without an alarm. The clock was showing 9, such a rare thing to happen. Felt sluggish, though probably it wasn't the best idea to sleep during the day after all. I'm going to see Alisa instead of the dance, so it's time then. But I agreed to help Lena. What should I do now? God damn it. A few minutes later, I approached the stage. Maybe it was a bad idea accepting her offer. Just talking to Kaya meant danger. On the other hand, I wasn't eager to dance. What can I do there? I'd only disgrace myself. No, I'm better off listening to Alisa play the guitar. Coming closer, I saw a person sitting on the edge of the stage with her legs dangling. So you came after all? Alisa put the guitar aside and jumped to the ground. There was even a trace of joy on her face for the moment. Playing for someone is surely more interesting than being alone. As you can see. What are we going to do? What do you mean, what? I'm asking you. Well, you wanted... I got the sudden idea that this situation was one of her usual pranks, and I should never have expected to hear any guitar songs. I'm going to bed. Bye. I turn around and wave a hand, intentionally slowly. Hey! Alisa grabbed my sleeve. What? Don't you want to listen? Listen to what? You yourself don't know what you're going to do. Of course I know. She took the guitar and hit the strings with the plectrum a couple of times. Sit next to me. I didn't object, and in a moment I was sitting beside her. Better this way. Miss the dance, leave now, and then what would I do? The role of a stranger was more suitable for a passive observer and not for the eager seeker of answer who I wanted to be so badly. So I'll show you how to play this song now. Just like that, right away? What do you mean right away? I haven't held a guitar for a long time. She could probably guess how long it had been since I held one. My skills weren't enough to make a cat laugh. It's not difficult. I threw an intense look at Alisa. It distinctly seemed to me now that she just can't express her feelings. She could lose her strange self-control for a moment, and I'd go to see a casual and even funny and friendly girl. And then when her self-confidence and impudence turned back on, it was bitchness as usual. And which is the real one? Hey, what? Stop daydreaming. Oh yeah, sorry. So, are you watching? I am. What song is this? The one I played this morning, of course. Oh, okay, I'm listening. Lisa made up her mind and started to play. That's it. Did you get everything? I may have understood it, but I probably won't be able to replicate it. How should I put it? It's okay, practice makes perfect. She's undoubtedly right on this point, but I've had problems with practice all my life. Well, I took the guitar from Elise and tried to play the first chord. It was hard as my fingers were tied in a knot and didn't want to be in the right place. I used to be better before, but now I wouldn't even be able to play Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. Well, wait a moment. Looks like you won't be a rock hero. She laughed kindly. It may be better this way, I hissed, vaguely trying to remember the order of strings to press. Well, the guitar started to make devilish sounds resembling the groans of a wounded dinosaur. My left hand fingers constantly missed the right frets, and my right hand didn't strike in rhythm. Let's call it progressive rock. Progressive. Oh well, give it back. She took the guitar away, and it sounded completely different in her hands. I felt embarrassed by my clumsiness for a moment. Elisa's skill may not have been on the level of a professional guitarist, but nevertheless she played simple things like this with confidence. She must have had a lot of practice. Did you get it this time? She finished and offered the guitar to me. Well, I did better the second time, but it was still a long way from Elisa's level, or any decently adequate level. I was aware how totally worthless I was compared to her. It seemed so simple, just play with 3 chords. The tune is too simple though. The guitar side, Elisa was lost in thought for a moment. Even a preschool kid could play it better. Thanks, I tried. So I noticed. She might be trying to demonstrate her evident superiority at playing the guitar. It's not like everyone can be a musician. Not really. Elisa looked up at the sky. Though you can't be one, that's for sure. Why is that? You should have heard yourself. I started to regret coming here. Well, don't mind me. Why does Elisa need to do this? It's obvious that I'm a horrible guitarist, obviously, but if I had some practice. So, will you practice? I don't know. Maybe I will. The guitar was the least of my problems, though. I'm stuck in a strange world that I can't escape from. That's more important than than a stupid argument with Elisa. I suddenly felt an annoying self-pity, apathy, and an urge to leave this place, to forget this evening. Those feelings left a nasty impression and a burning desire to do or say something stupid, as if it could change anything. What? Me learning to play the guitar? You surely couldn't. You'd strum the guitar for a couple of days and give it up. Lisa's words pierced my heart. You know what? Oh well, should she know? Is it any concern of hers? Am I reacting this way just because it's true? And that is Elisa who spoke the truth? You can't know how to do everything. Probably not. But you should be able to do at least something. So are you saying I can't do anything? How should I know? You know, What? Should I tell her about my computer skills? Or about the books I've read and movies I've watched? Oh well, this is a pointless conversation. That goes without saying. You're only concerned with having fun. And you do nothing but whine. Forget it. I jumped down from the stage and walked away from the concert area. Go then, I heard Elisa yelling to me. I'm already going, I hissed. The path led me back to the square. There was Slava in the center of it, sweeping the area. Oh, Simeon, hi, I thought everyone was still already asleep. No, what are you doing? Cleaning up after the ball. Why didn't you come? Where have you been? I hadn't the slightest intention of telling Slavia how I embarrassed myself on the stage with the guitar in front of Elisa while the whole camp was having fun at the square. I took a walk. Okay, but you should have come. It was fun. Glad you enjoyed yourself. I've been sweating like a pig today because of worries or just a hot night. Hey, do you know where I can have a bath? Certainly. Go straight, then a bit to the left by the path, and then to the right, and there will be a bathhouse. Should I accompany you? Oh, no need. I'll find it myself. Totally, totally didn't want to burden her anymore. I walked along the forest path in the direction Slavia had showed me. My whole body was itching. How didn't I notice it before? More importantly, what else hadn't I noticed? If things keeps going like this, then I'll have to stay in this world forever. I shivered at the thought. Probably at the idea that I didn't feel any terror or just even fear. Just like it's the natural flow of things. I could see a bathhouse behind the trees. Why do the Pioneer have baths here? Olga said something about repairs to the showers, though. No reason to worry about it now. There were soap and clean towels, so I quickly washed myself, went outside and breathed in a chest full of fresh night air. Ah, it's so wonderful that physical cleanliness brings spiritual cleanliness. All of my problems, if not went away, then at least became less important. It's like the water washed away not only dirt from my body, but also the anxiety from my mind. I suddenly started yawning, so I headed to the leader's cabin, rubbing my eyes. I didn't even take a few steps before Elisa jumped out from the bushes. You, what are you doing here? I was just washing myself. She came to her senses and spoke again. And what? How should I know? Then why do you speak if you don't know? All my peace of mind vanished in a moment. Only irritation and awareness remained. Okay, well, if you don't mind. Wait, now what? If back there on the stage you thought that, well, I didn't want to offend you or anything, it's okay, I'm not offended. I just can't play guitar, nothing special. A lot of people can't. I felt that there were obvious signs of irritation in my voice, but I couldn't do anything about it. I wanted to say everything to her face, right here, right now. Exactly, you can't. Elisa obviously restrained herself from laughing. Oh, I've already had enough of you. She totally drove me out of my wits at that moment. In another second, I would have started to yell at her, or worse. Wait, would you just leave me alone? Lisa followed me, but didn't. Lisa followed me, but didn't try to stop me. I really didn't want to offend. Some invisible power made me turn around. Okay, can I go now? Yes, of course. In the moonlight, Elisa looked very beautiful, with a brief, guilty expression on her face. If only she could keep her mouth shut. What are you smirking at? Although, nothing. I just thought thought at it. If only you were a little bit more polite. Then what? I shouldn't say such things. People could get ideas depending on their intellectual abilities. Then nothing. You should finish what you started. There's nothing to finish. I'm very tired and I'm going to sleep. Stop right there. Don't make me run away from you. As if you could. She may be right. I'm already exhausted from this day, and naturally I had no intention of running after a bath. So what? What? If only I would be more polite, then what? Try it and you'll see. Nice comeback. Why should I do anything for a fool like you? Then don't try. What does it have to do with me? I sighed and dragged myself to the square. And what about you, then? What? I replied without turning to her. Well, what if I would, then you... I don't know what you're talking about. Let's think that I would if it's easier for you. Moron. Elisa yelled at me and headed toward the bathhouse. The square shined with the cleanliness of a German road, which was washed with shampoo, or so people said. That's Slavia for you. And I just argued with Elisa and nothing else. What for? As if it was really necessary. And her behavior? In any other situation, I would have surely said that Elisa likes me and just hides it behind her rudeness. That's not important right now, though. Relationships, love, anything. Maybe she isn't even human. And what if she was human and this was all happening in the real world? I drove those thoughts away and headed toward the leader's cabin. Tiredness had overwhelmed me. It was like an invisible obstacle stopped me in front of the door. Olga certainly would like to know where I was and why I missed the dance. I'll get a full interrogation for sure. Counting the absence of Lisa at the dance too, it wouldn't be too hard to guess that we skipped it together. On the other hand, should I even tell her that instead of going to the dance, Elisa practiced playing guitar and I just went along with the flow? Nothing special, actually. Doesn't really matter why I left. So, at the same time, I thought that it could be better to keep silent. I'll decide on the spot. I sighed and pulled the door handle. Olga was already waiting for me, wearing a dress. So, Simeon, where have you been? I'll tell her I've been with Elisa. Tell the truth, I was with the stage with Elisa. What did you do there? Play the guitar? Okay then, that's not important. Why didn't you come to the ball? Well, frankly speaking, I don't like dancing. So what? That was a camp public event, which means every pioneer had to attend. She looked at me intently. You could just sit somewhere quietly. I'm sorry, I sighed. Okay. The leader softened. Go to bed quickly. The storm has passed. Tossed and turned, but I couldn't sleep. My head was full of thoughts about music, guitars, and Elisa. I wonder, could I become a professional musician? And do I even want to be one? Why should I want to? It certainly would be pretty fun, but nothing else. Or is Elisa the reason? She really is like an energy vampire, sucking all your juices. Dude. My eyes started to close and I fell asleep a moment after. This seems like the spot to save the game, yeah. Save at the empty slot and let's save here. Yes, I want to overwrite. So, and let's exit.